Does anyone really know what hormones do? There is so much talk about women's hormonal health, but most women are left even more confused about what it means for them and what to do about it. The confusion ends now.
An award-winning German nutrition scientist created a powerful herbal formula called Hormone Harmony, which contains 12 powerful adaptogens into one single capsule. Each of these ingredients is carefully selected based on scientific evidence and has been proven effective in clinical studies for women of various ages and hormonal profiles.
Happy Mammoth, the company that produces Hormone Harmony, is famous for its zero compromise policy. No GMOs, artificial fillers or flavors, or any other junk. Only science-backed ingredients in amounts that are clinically proven.
What makes this formula unlike anything else on the market is that it tackles multiple hormone imbalances at the same time, creating a cascade of benefits all throughout the body and mind.
Hormone Harmony has over 50,000 raving reviews from women all over the world, with 98% of them saying they'd gladly recommend it to their friends and family.
For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code BLAME at checkout.
You can try Hormone Harmony risk-free and get 15% off your first order with code BLAME at checkout.
The Roses were living the dream.
To you, my darling.
No, to you.
Until it all came crashing down.
He got fired.
Fired?
On August 29th, stop.
You stop!
And see The Roses. Rated R. In theaters everywhere, August 29th.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
Hello, welcome to a new episode of But Am I Wrong?
Hi, and welcome. Welcome. So excited for you to be here.
Me too. But Am I Wrong is a podcast where simply we ask, are we wrong in situations? Are you wrong in situations? Is this figure that's out in public consumption wrong in a situation? And then we take it to vote on our Instagram page, and you can write in and defend your stance. Please remember when you are defending stances or coming for anything, that you have listened to the episode, which if you're one of the people who write in and don't listen, you're probably not listening right now. So it's going over your head anyway, not even over your head. It's not even reaching your ears anyway. But that's what we want because you sound ridiculous.
You do. And we want you to be informed in the voting booth.
Mm-hmm.
And then right now what it is giving going to the voting booth uninformed and then getting on Twitter and being like, oh no, someone missed
the
rundown.
Literally read the headlines without hearing the nuance of the conversation.
Yeah, out of context. So we have 3 different segments. We will explain each one before we get into it. But what you need to know is we want you to participate. We want you to vote. We want you to write in. It's an active participant show. And if you're like, oh my God, I love being an active participant, you would love our Patreon. We do live streams there twice a month, but you can also watch the video version of this show as well as our other shows. And it's a good old time. And yes, it's fun. I feel like this one is going to be, I don't even remember what I did a lot of prep, but what the fuck did I wrote? Right. Oh yeah, I've got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Okay, great.
It's going to be a good time. So gird your loins.
We recently found out what that means.
We did. If you listen to all of our shows, you would know that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, first up is But Am I Wrong? And this is where we pitch, hot take, rant, are we wrong in something that's happened in our life, current situation that we are dealing with, to the other person and to the audience. So for mine is a bit of I guess it's a little bit of a hot take. I actually don't know if it's that hot of a take. I would love to know how other people feel about this, because to me, this feels like a no-brainer. But this might be like totally opposite for some people. And I know for a fact it is opposite of one person because this all stemmed from someone posting on TikTok. And my hot take is I want my dermatologist to have had adult acne and bonus points if they have acne scars. So all this stemmed from a TikTok, which was from a dermatology resident telling med students to, quote unquote, get their acne together if they're applying to dermatology. And then these are more of her exact quotes. You can be working on it. You can have a pimple here and there, but you cannot have a face full of acne, which is wild to me because I'm like, that's saying that you can't have anxiety and then go into psychiatry. And then she also acknowledges that, like, you know, I know it's like, and I didn't even think about this part, but being like, I know that like med school is like stressful and like you might have like developed acne that you've never had before. I didn't even think about that part of it. I was just thinking about like your everyday fucking run of the mill zits and pimples. And she was like, and I understand, and like you might not even have time to go to dermatologist. And I was like, honestly, you're making great points I never thought about. But my fucking statement was never, they can't, like, you can't have acne and work in dermatology. Like, and just saying all these things of being like, but you know, you need to make the time for it. Like, there's really, you need to be working on it. And my follow-up question is, how do you know if someone is working on it? How do you know visibly? Yeah. That's a great fucking question. But yeah, it's like saying you can't have anxiety and go into psychiatry, or can't have cancer and go into oncology, or even have a yeast infection and go into gynecology. I'm just like, what is this like a personal failure? And specifically mentioning acne, not like skin cancer, not like moles, not like not skin tags, not anything like that. Just acne. Acne is a moral failure in this instance. The rest are just medical conditions. She was ironic about all of this.
Right. But
I want at least one employee, and this is beyond just my dermatologist. I want one, in addition to that, I want at least one employee, nurse practitioner, to have visible acne at the time of the appointment. My dermatologist went on Accutane, and when I was like struggling with my skin, like wanting to go on it, she immediately was like, pulls up pictures of her on her phone, showing me what this process was. Pulled in a girl who worked at the dermatology clinic, pulled in one of them and was like, she's starting Accutane next week too. And then I got to essentially have my Accutane journey parallel to one of the other people who worked there in that field, worked in dermatology. And we were like, and she's like giving tips and like talking about it. And like the fact that like you walk into like I never felt anxiety going to this dermatologist at all, because I don't feel it's aspirational when I'm having a skin issue to go into a dermatologist and have everybody have like perfectly flawless clear skin. Because you know what I see? I see genetics. Okay, great. Luck of the draw. If I'm just seeing that from a point blank space, but for them, like everybody immediately was like, oh my God, I had such bad acne at this age. I had all of this. If you tell me like, I got into dermatology and I had acne when I was 13 for approximately a week and a half. And I've really I don't feel like you understand the emotional aspects of this. I don't think you understand the psychological aspects of this. You might understand the medical aspects of this, but like you've never personally gone through it. And like, I'm also someone, I don't want to go to a male gynecologist. And like, that's fine. I'm fine with other people. I don't think like men shouldn't be gynecologists. You can be a gynecologist. I'm not going to go there. But like for me, if I'm dealing with something in my body, which I would say my skin and like reproductive stuff, like those are two things that like hold a lot of like emotional, the physical aspects that I've dealt with that have caused emotional distress to me. So I want to go to a doctor who understands the emotional aspect of it from like a personal space. Yeah, I just think that this is like a ridiculous thing. And it's like for me, like I love seeing, if I went to a orthodontist, I'm loving seeing an adult person in orthodontics who works with braces on. I love that shit. I want to see that. But this is like, how are you supposed to convey that you are working on your acne?
Yeah.
Also because other people want to say that pimple patches are unprofessional. Okay.
But seeing a pussy bump on your face is professional.
Cool. So, yeah, fuck that.
In a lesser degree, very, very, very lesser, because I do not even have a degree in this. But somebody I was like I think I was actually on set, and somebody was like, I can't stop staring at your skin. It's so gorgeous. You're so lucky. You have clear skin. And I said, whoa.
Give me the credit, baby.
No. I have spent a lot of money to get my skin to look like this. And then I could give them, it's even if there's somebody that you're looking at and you're like, they have such nice skin, I want the products they're using. No, because like if it's genetically good skin, the products are not going to be the same on your skin. But if you have skin issues that may be similar, which you and I do have similar skin issues, and we're able to talk about and share products that we're using. And I love that when we got a product that worked both for our face, we have both been sticking with it, even though they're no longer sponsoring this show.
Pharmacy, please sponsor us again.
Yes, please.
We love you. We are rebuying.
I am waiting on an order that I just put in.
Yeah. And sometimes when Melissa cuts it too close, she has to go into the store. And she doesn't like going into stores.
I don't like to go into stores. But yeah, this order is stuck in Vegas. It might be at one point where I just go drive and get it, but yeah, I'm waiting on an order. But yeah, like it is one thing to hear about skin issues from, somebody that has perfect skin or somebody that now has perfect skin because of the journey that they've been on. Totally different.
100%. And like this idea that like patients will not trust you, and like other doctors and other dermatologists and like people who are working there will be like, no, you are lesser because you have active acne. I'm like, cool. How do you treat your patients at? Like, this is not the place I want to be. That is not at all. Like if I walk in and I see my dermatologist has acne, I'm not like, can't go here. She doesn't know what she's doing. I'm going, perfect. This is where I should be. You understand. You understand.
Aye. All right. Yeah, I agree with you. But I will draw a line. Sometimes I don't want a neurologist that has extensive brain damage.
Yeah, I don't want RFK performing brain surgery. Yeah, I think, but also like, I don't think that you should have to go to work if you are like actively have cancer and going through chemo. Like, I think you should have some time off. Yeah. And I don't think you should be required to work. I think if you had childhood cancer and when you were like 3 years old and you have been in remission for 30 plus years and you are an oncologist, to me, I'm like, that career path makes sense. Yes. It makes sense that you have a personal experience with this.
Yep. Agree. All right. So I want to talk about something that's been bothering me lately, especially this week, and that's the non-apology. We've all seen them, that carefully worded statement from a company or a celebrity that says a whole lot without saying a word of I'm sorry, or I should say a phrase of I'm sorry. It's an apology that doesn't mean anything because it takes no responsibility. And I have 3 examples here. One is the Hazel Boutique / Hazelnut Cafe. So a woman went to the cafe with their 3-year-old and her elderly mother. And the child, the 3-year-old, pushed over a table and it shattered. And the business owners allegedly told the woman that she couldn't leave until she paid $1,600 to replace it. Now, there's a lot of things wrong with this situation. One, a 3-year-old shouldn't be able to push over a heavy stone table. Well, it turns out that this wasn't a proper cafe table at all. It was flimsy, a 2-layered console table, which is meant to be against the wall and or anchored. It was unstable, wobbly, and not even treated properly to be cleaned. So this thing was nasty.
Porous as hell.
Yes. And after the story went viral, the Hazel Boutique released a statement, and it was a masterclass in the non-apology. They stated that they were extremely grateful that no one was harmed, which is a good thing to say. But they didn't take any responsibility for the dangerous table they were using. And there's also 3 in this cafe.
They're also ugly.
And there are also videos of the staff on social media sitting at the tables, and they're wobbling. Very much so.
They don't even like fit in with the aesthetic. Like,
no.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I understand if you're like, oh, I want to forego X, Y, and Z, like something that might not be as practical that like, and I wouldn't forego safety for for any of that. But like, they also just like don't look good.
They don't look good. And they could have had them custom made for the same price or less, actually.
Yeah.
And been more stable. They said they personally called the child's mother to express their concern, but didn't address the demand for $1,600. They also claimed they would never hold anyone against their will and that the mother was not charged, but only after she reportedly asked how she could make it right. The statement ended with them patting themselves on the back for their commitment to creating a safe, welcoming environment. This wasn't an apology. It was a business trying to save face and gaslight its customers into thinking that they were good guys all along. Another example is e.l.f. Cosmetics. Their target audience is women, yet their recent campaign featured, quote unquote, and I say quote unquote because he's not funny, comedian Matt Rife. If you're not familiar with Matt Rife, we have talked about him on this show. He has a history of making misogynist jokes, including a particularly awful one about domestic violence from his Netflix special. When he received backlash for the joke, he responded with a fake apology and a link to a website selling helmets for people with special needs. This man, who has publicly mocked victims of domestic abuse and people with disabilities, was chosen by e.l.f. to be the face of their campaign. When the backlash hit e.l.f., they released a statement with another non-apology. You know us, we're always listening and we've heard you. It stated that the campaign aimed to humorously spotlight beauty and justice and that they missed the mark. They said that the campaign was closing that day, but they never actually took it down. It's still, as we're recording this on August 14th at 12:54 p.m. Pacific time, it is still up on their Instagram and on their TikTok. They never said, we're sorry for platforming misogynists. They never said, we're sorry for offending the women who are customers. And if they really meant it, if they were truly sorry, then, maybe the CEO should have gone on social media with a professional who is an expert on domestic violence and talk about why what they did was wrong and actually said, I'm sorry, and maybe wrote a big fat check to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Sometimes I think it's better not apologizing at all if you don't mean it. Just this week, Cardi B came under fire for a quote unquote joke she made with her fan base. The joke offended someone. Now, I'm not here to comment on that because I'm not part of the community that was offended. So it's not my place. But what Cardi did was not apologize. She owned her words. She didn't release a fake statement. And so my point is, if you're going to be controversial, own it. Be a jerk if you want to be, but don't pretend that you're sorry later. The non-apology is an insult to our intelligence. It's a statement that says, I'm sorry you were offended instead of I'm sorry for what I did. So let's call these companies out on what they do. Let's demand real apologies. And if they don't give real apologies, great. Now we know exactly where they stand because the non-apology doesn't mean shit.
I agree with all of that. I think in general, if you're going to say something bad, nasty, mean, like you mean it and you stand by it, or you actually apologize, but then it's not just like sorry, like, yep. And we can all tell. Everyone knows like what a genuine versus a not genuine apology is, and like putting your money where your mouth is, and also like. I think a man who looks like that should not be in beauty campaigns. Like. I understand that he loves Lip Plumper. I understand that he loves Juvederm. I understand that he like loves all of this. But like, if you are putting a absolutely like plastic pumped up person in my like beauty content, I need that person to sing the praises. I don't need that person to like fundamentally and like vehemently deny that they've like had any sort of work done.
Yes. When we can see pictures.
I can see the outline of the fucking implant.
You've been dating older women before you were famous, and so you were pictured with said older women. So we know what you used to look like.
We were there. Unfortunately.
Older famous women, I should say. So therefore you are in Getty Images, and we know what you used to look like.
Yes. And like, it's just like John Mulaney getting on there and being like, I'm doing, this is a campaign about mewing. Like, this is how you get good cheekbones. And I'm like, John Mulaney, that's someone put a hard material. I think if you knocked on that, it would radiate through your whole body. Like that is a piece of metal that is there. And then they've also made one for your chin. Like but and I can see that your face is like this, but hey, you're not at least trying to, they're not, beauty campaigns aren't like, you know who we need? We need the crimson chin. John Mulaney. We need him in this. Sell a contour palette. It's also wild because like e.l.f. has been pretty good as far as like I know, unless I'm mistaken, like, and I'm not remembering, but like they've been like had kind of been like pretty on top of like funny and topical and like slightly unexpected celebrity endorsements and like partnerships.
Mhm.
This one, I was like, he's also like not famous. And I have to assume he worked for free and like they ran out of money. Like,
He didn't work for free.
why now? Why this sperm? Like,
Yeah.
why? Okay. You're not wrong.
Thank you. All right, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get into But Are You Wrong?
Support for today's episode comes from OneSkin. We've talked about OneSkin before. Did you know your body starts accumulating senescent cells as early as your 20s? Also called, what are they called, Melissa?
Zombie cells.
These cells stop producing collagen and hyaluronic acid like they used to, and they start secreting an inflammatory substance that makes neighboring cells dysfunctional too. There is an answer for these zombie cells, though, and it comes from our friends at OneSkin.
Founded by an all-woman team of scientists, OneSkin is the first and only skin longevity company to target cellular senescence, a key hallmark of aging, with their proprietary OS1 peptide. OS1 is scientifically proven to decrease lines and wrinkles, boost hydration, and help with the thinning skin that often comes with age. Don't just take our word for it, though. They've got over 4,000 five-star reviews for their full line of face, body, sun, and travel-sized products.
But if you want to take our word for it, know that we love them. We are using them constantly. The OS1, like the way it goes on, so easy, so simple. You notice a huge difference with them, and your skin looks great.
Yeah, I have become a fan of the Rich Eye Cream because it's like thick, but it's lightweight, and I can just easily use it as part of my routine.
OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started with 15% off using code BLAMEME at oneskin.co.
That's 15% off oneskin.co with code BLAMEME. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you.
You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. This podcast you're listening to, it was once just a dream. A dream that became reality not by accident, but because someone decided not to let the what-ifs keep them from creating something they believed in. Starting your own business is a dream lots of us share, but too many let it remain just a dream. Don't hold yourself back from creating what you believe in, and turn those what-ifs into why-nots with Shopify by your side. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world, and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. What if I can't design a website? Shopify's got you with beautiful, ready-to-go templates to match your brand's style. What if I need a hand? Get help with everyday tasks like enhancing product images, writing product descriptions, or generating discount codes with Shopify's AI tools created for commerce. What if people haven't heard about my brand? Shopify helps you find your customers with easy-to-run email and social media campaigns. And what if I get stuck? Shopify's always around to share advice with their award-winning 24/7 customer support. So turn those dreams into and give them the best shot at success with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. Shopify.com/realm.
We're back, and it is time for But Are You Wrong? This is where you write into butamiwrongpod@gmail.com, or you fill out our form listed on the socials or in the show notes with the circumstance and situation that you would like to know if you are in the wrong about. We've also opened it up that if you have a hot take or a rant, we welcome it. Will we judge you if you say that Sis is destined to be the next Catwoman? Yes, but we would love to hear your reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to hear your opinions, and we're here to tell you if you're wrong.
And we're here to hear, discuss, and judge.
And then we open it up for you to judge as well. We're not just taking that honor on ourselves. We're sharing the wealth with you as well. So keep it under 300 words. It is all anonymous. We do need to know how old you are. You have to be over 18, but you have to tell us your age because we can't give you any advice if we don't know how old you are. Because like if you're 40 and then if you're 20, like it is wildly different. And because it's all anonymous, please use fake names. You can, if you want to get creative with it, some people, we've got some creatives in our mix who like to cast based on a TV show or whatever. If you do that, please make sure it makes sense. Otherwise, it can get incesty very quick and it's a little weird and you'd be surprised how often it gets to that place. Okay. I'm writing because I'm at my wit's end and I desperately need some outside perspective. I'm 29 and I've been with my fiance for 5 years, but it's been a rocky on and off journey. We got engaged last year, but nothing has changed. I've been living in New York City for the past year and he's back in a small town in Pennsylvania, just a 5-hour drive away. He keeps promising he'll move here, but there's no plan, no action, just empty words. My biggest issue is his family, particularly his mom, who's openly prejudiced. I'm sorry, I already found an issue, but now we're saying the issue is I think he's also the issue.
Yeah.
As a Black woman, I'm a complete non-starter for her. In 5 years, I've never met them.
What?
He's been to countless family gatherings of mine and knows my entire family, but he's never stood up for me. First of all, not only do you need to break up with this man needs to die. I feel like I'm a dirty little secret that he's keeping. On top of that, I don't feel like a priority. Our relationship is built on crumbs of communication. I'll go days without a single text or call. And there have been times he's completely dropped off the map for weeks. This is a person I am supposed to marry. I'm seriously considering ending the engagement. Am I being too demanding? Or is this as bad as it feels? It's worse. I'm so isolated in this, and I just need someone to tell me if I'm crazy for thinking about walking away. You are crazy for fucking staying.
Yes. Why are you still putting up with this?
Where in the city do you live? I can send friends to help you move. What do you need?
What does it matter? He doesn't live there anyway.
No, he doesn't. I don't even think he knows the codes. Like, what do you need?
Why are you sticking around? You didn't say one positive thing about him. You're engaged to somebody who you don't know his family, that you barely see. What is the point of this relationship?
Well, he has a second family, I'm sure. Or drug problem or gambling problem, something. Like, not hearing from him for weeks at a time is crazy. Like, if you take away, like, if you just go line by line, deal breaker. First line, deal breaker. Second thing you say about him, deal breaker. You compile them all together. This is a man that you should never know. This is a man who, like, you need to forget existed. This is a man who, if you need to see him one last time, push him off a boat, put him in the middle of the Hudson.
I need you to break up with this man expeditiously. Keep the ring. Use the ring money to take yourself to therapy, because your self-esteem is non-existent and we need to build that up, because I'm sure you're great. You listen to this podcast. You got to have something great going for you.
Oh, yeah.
You got to have a lot going for you. Like, please, I need you to work on yourself. Please.
I need to know about your friends.
I'm sure your friends they hate him.
Yeah. Like, are you keeping people at arm's length? Are you not sharing all of this stuff with your friends? Because, like, if you have not shared the nitty gritty with your friends, the first thing you need to do when you're like, I don't know if I'm going to backtrack. You can't backtrack. Tell your meanest friend about this. Tell your meanest friend.
You, a Black woman who has taken this man to all your family functions, I need you to tell your aunties about this man. Please. They will get you straight and they will get him straight.
Yeah.
Go tell Pookie and them. Like, please leave this man alone.
You are on the most populated island and you are on an island of one. Like, you need to bring in somebody else that you can tell who will never forgive him and will not let you go back to him. Like, you need that. Like, you need like that kind of pillar and that strength of someone for this, because like you said, like, your self-esteem and, like, not only your self-esteem, but like your gauge of like what is like appropriate and acceptable and normal behavior. And like, especially like in regards to you should have never even gotten engaged. Like this, like I would think that like I haven't met your family, your parent, all of this stuff is like so bad. You won't stick up for me. I'm insulted that you proposed to me because like, what do you think that this is what I deserve and this is how I should continue living my life? So like, this feels like you've accepted this behavior and tolerated this behavior for so long that like your gauge for what, again, like is like appropriate and acceptable in a relationship is like fucked. So either you're not telling your friends about it, or you have horrible, awful, shitty friends, or you've isolated yourself that you have not been able to, because you saying like, am I crazy? If you even looked at other people's relationships, you would be like, this is insane. He's doing this to me. But like you seemingly have isolated yourself so much that you don't even have a barometer to judge your relationships based on other healthy relationships.
Yeah.
Like this is like you and like him being gone for like 2 weeks at a time and or like leaving for weeks.
And not texting you?
No, like it sounds like you are.
Texting's the bare minimum.
You're isolating yourself when he has already like, he's not like an overbearing presence in your life. He's like a flighty fucking presence in your life. So like when he's not even around, who do you have? Like, who are you leaning on? What is this? Because not being able to trust yourself to like this like level and like the logistics aspect of this, because like, I don't know if you're from New York. You've been living in New York City for the past year. So like you had to move to New York City. That takes someone who can do logistics, who could do planning, who could do follow through, all of those kinds of things. Like moving to New York is not an easy place to move. You did that. You know the work that it takes to get into that. And like, I feel like you must have just been working overtime the entire time of the relationship, making up for the crumbs that he has been giving. But yeah, this is like some of the worst I've heard.
Yeah.
And not to be curt with it, if that's the right word, I would also make sure you go get tested. Because him being gone for weeks at a time and like not texting, all of this to me and like the family not meeting you, I'm not saying that bigotry is not playing a part in it. Without a doubt it is. There is also a chance that he has somebody else who the family thinks of as his significant other.
Yeah. But his mother saying that what was the exact words that
I'm not even an op. What was it?
My biggest issue is the family, particularly his mother, who is openly prejudiced.
Mm-hmm.
No, like, no.
And he doesn't stick up for you.
And he doesn't stick up for you. He doesn't stand up for you. And he's not there. Why are you with this man? I need you to do better.
Yeah.
And that's the tough love that I'm going to give. Use the money. Hopefully, I don't know. The ring might be worth nothing, but do better. We gotta love ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And like
you've been together for 5 years and you haven't met anybody in his family, but you know that his mom is racist. How did you find this out? Did he tell you or did you see it on a Facebook post? This woman doesn't think of you as a human being.
There is, unless you have been lying to your family and your family is the most gullible people ever, you finally saying that I'm done with it is a sigh of, they know. Mm-hmm. There, nobody is like, no, this is totally normal. It is like totally fine for your boyfriend's family to be like so fucking wildly racist. Like, no, this is, if anything, I'm also like, I want to have a talk with your family and be like, okay, why
I don't think they know.
Put our foot down.
I don't think they know. I truly don't think they know.
Well, it's also like, how do you bring it up? How do you say that? Like, that's because I think you feel, and that's why I think you probably haven't told friends or like you have self-isolated because I think you're carrying a lot of shame with this because you're questioning if like, am I going to be crazy if I break up with him? Which I can't even fathom a mindset you have to be in to think that that's the crazy thing to do in the situation is break up with him. That's the most rational, sanest, logical thing to do. And I can't wait for you to get out of this. And you're in New York. You're not in like middle of fucking nowhere, small town Pennsylvania. You are not Amish. Rumspringa. Like, you're in New York City. This is like, you have literally the world at your fingertips. And you're tying yourself to like this piece of shit motherfucking man with a horse and buggy.
Who is engaged to you, but can't make an actual commitment.
Just wandering around without a ring on. Don't hear from him from weeks at a time.
Yeah.
Doesn't even text you.
Yeah. So, well, sister, I need you to follow up with us in 6 months. Actually, I need you to follow up with us in a week to let us know that you broke up with him. A week after that to let us know that you're in therapy with a Black therapist,
Mm-hmm.
and then in 6 months to let us know your progress.
Yeah. And I want to see pictures. I want to see outfit of the night pictures, going out with my friends. We're having fun, prioritizing, me hanging out with my friends. This makes me irate. I do want his name.
Yeah.
I want his name. I won't do anything with it, of course. I'm not that kind of girl. But I just would love to know, like, you know, and maybe a picture. Like, does his name fit what he looks like? And like, you know, what part of Pennsylvania? You know, I'm just curious.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we get back, we'll get into the next one.
Parents of tweens, if you're familiar with far-off drop-offs...
Dad, stop, right here.
Or get DMs about what's for dinner, you may be experiencing tween milestones. For your son or daughter, these can start at age 9. HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start then too.
For most, HPV clears on its own. But for those who don't clear the virus, it can cause certain cancers later in life.
Embrace this phase. Help protect them in the next.
Ask their doctor today about HPV vaccination. Brought to you by Merck.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
Your burger is served, and this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. Its sweet profile perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger.
That is one perfect combination. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
All right, we're back.
Still mad.
All right, here's the next one. If you blow your vape smoke in my face, I'm not responsible for what I say next.
Say? That's tame.
Thank you for this opening statement.
Yeah, they really took the write it like an essay. Have your thesis.
I, 34, she, her, have asthma and a sensitivity to smoke or strong smells. Smells like really strong cologne or perfume give me headaches / make me feel nauseous. I give people smoking a wide berth, but usually they aren't an issue. My hypothesis being that they know cigarettes smell bad and are considerate because of this. People who vape, on the other hand, seem to have no concept that other people might not love the smell of their cotton candy smoke. If I know someone is vaping, I don't say anything and just walk around. I don't expect people in public to make special accommodations for me. But I can't count the amount of times that I have been walking, waiting for a train, etc., and someone pulls out a vape, and before I have time to react or move away, there is a cloud of vape smoke in my face. Even though it doesn't smell like a cigarette, I still think it's incredibly rude to blow smoke in someone's face. People who vape need to have more situational awareness and need to realize that not everyone wants a secondhand hit of their vape. Sometimes after I've been enveloped in a cloud of strawberry smoke, I can't help myself and I'll make eye contact to scowl or loudly say something snarky as I walk away. I know it's not a great reaction, but I think that I shouldn't be responsible for what I say or how bad my RBF intensifies if you blow blue raspberry smoke in my face. You're not wrong. At the last night of Cowboy Carter, someone 2 seats ahead of me had a vape pen and they were blowing. So it was hitting me and the person in front of me directly in our faces. So me and the person in front of me, we had started chatting before the concert because my mom was waiting in a long ass line to get merch for other people. And so she and her friend was off somewhere else. Her and I started chatting. She was actually from Arkansas too. It was odd.
So random.
Yeah, no, such a small world. But we had been chatting and then we were just like friendly at the concert. The person directly in front of her, and like I said, I was 2 rows behind, kept blowing their strawberry vape pen, and it was knocking up. They were doing it in a way where they were blowing it back, like doing the thing where they blow back, so they aren't hitting the people in front of them, but aren't being considerate of the people behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got up and said, "Excuse me.
Hey, popcorn lung.
You are blowing in our face. Can you please stop?" And they did stop after that. But if they hadn't, I was going to go tell somebody that worked there.
I'm surprised that they didn't get dinged for that, like, immediately.
A lot of people have vape pens when we were in LA.
I know, but I know at like certain sporting, like football arenas, like if you have a vape pen there, they like have fucking cameras, and you within seconds, like an employee will come down and like you get like one warning and then you're out.
When we were in LA, the girl that interviewed us, she was smoking her vape pen the whole time.
I did think about that when we started talking about this. Yeah.
But she wasn't hitting us in the face with it.
And also she was doing it very, very cutesy, very demure. Yeah. She's leaning over into her purse and doing that.
I could smell it, but it wasn't hitting us directly.
No, and
face.
I could smell it, and I couldn't see the smoke like pluming from this. I'd be like, someone's hitting a vape. It's her. But look at her. That purse is getting a lot of smoke in that. But hey, hope you don't have any snacks in there. That kind of little funky tasting. But thank you. I appreciate the being considerate. Yeah, I have one friend who is addicted to vaping, and I have to say that like I make fun of this person all the time, like for it. And there have been times where like they'll come over and they will just like whip out their vape, and I literally go, "I'm sorry, whose fucking house do you think you're in?" And they go, "I'm so sorry, like that was crazy." And I go, "Yeah, by the way, you're addicted. You're addicted. You're not even thinking about it. Like that was objectively crazy. Like, love you to death. Get on the fucking porch. That's crazy." So I think that like saying something or even like giving a death stare, like to me, you are being so tame. The way I would literally be like, "Yo, popcorn lung, like pipe down." Like it is just the normalization of this to me is like really, really crazy.
I don't even think it should be allowed in facilities. There was recently there was a man on a plane that had taken one puff, as he said,
just one puff
in the bathroom, and they opened the door and he was like, "Only have one puff." And they're like, "It doesn't matter. You're not supposed to have it." But if it was just one puff, we wouldn't have noticed it out here behind a closed door.
No, he was doing like, I'm like, no, and it's just like this whole thing of people being like, "Oh my God, like this is like, it's just no big deal. It's fine." And I'm like, if it's fine, why are you foaming at the mouth because you can't fucking get a hit of it? Like, also we're calling it a hit.
A couple hours without it.
Yes. Like why, what is this? And it's like, well, just an oral fixation. Might I introduce you to toothpicks? Have you ever heard of a lollipop? Like,
have you heard of a ring pop?
Yes. Like suck a dick. Like there are ways we can solve this. And like, it shouldn't be a thing. And also, I have like a really like, yes, about your lungs. Yes, about like, people are like, well, it's not as bad as cigarettes. By the way, you will smoke less cigarettes. You will smoke less cigarettes because you don't have a constant access to a cigarette. You can't smoke cigarettes in public. You can't do this.
This isn't the 90s where you could just smoke a cigarette in the restaurant.
It's like my grandma. We couldn't go anywhere when I would go to visit her because she insisted she had to be able to smoke wherever she went. Couldn't go inside the restaurants.
I can't get over how wild it was that you could smoke in a restaurant, and they would have hotel rooms. They would have smoking areas as if the smoke wasn't coming over to the other area. And that's why it stopped after the research, because all these waiters and waitresses had secondhand. Yeah, like they had cancer from secondhand smoke.
No, my grandma used to just talk about that time of being like, what a beautiful time that was. And I wanted to be like, lady, your walls have yellow drips down them. You are a nasty woman. This shit is nasty. And like thinking like, I can't believe these idiots aren't letting me do this. And I'm like,
and you were a child.
I was a kid. I was like, I don't want to visit that grandma. She's stinky. She's really stinky. And she was so fucking classist and shit. And just all about how rich she was. And I was like, I actually prefer to sleep on the government housing on the mattress we've put up in the roach infested apartment with my poor grandma. And with our plastic tub of Walmart potato salad and our Hawaiian rolls, and the very poor, I prefer this than your rich condo with literal drips down. It was disgusting. It made everything smell. Even vapes. If you have long hair, you have curly hair, it makes your hair smell. Your hair smells like that for like so long. Even things like going to bonfires in high school. Like I would be like, my hair's going to smell like this for a week and a half. Like it is just, and like the fact that like you are sucking on like a USB drive is like fucking crazy to me.
When vapes first came out and they're like, it's better for you. Like you don't get all the stuff that you get with smoke. You know, I had a pen for weed.
Oh, well, yeah, I've had weed pens too.
And I smoked it. Guess what? I felt weird in my lungs because it's not good for your lungs and I have asthma. It was not good for you. But the fact that I had to plug it into my computer was fucking hilarious.
No, it's insane to me that you get a fucking charger, then you plug it into a wall and you go, you know what I'm going to do with that? I'm going to put that in my mouth now.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
What? Like, it's so fucking weird. And that everybody's like, no, this is totally normal. And I'm like, you put it loose in your purse and then you put it in your mouth and then you plug it into a wall. Then you plug it into your phone. Ugh! Why? You're putting technology into your mouth. Like, this is so weird. It's so weird how normalized it's been. And like, if you're like, oh my God, well, how am I so, what? Edibles, you know, smoke a joint. If you
don't have to have it, period.
No, I know, but I'm saying that like if it's like the vehicle of like getting weed through it, like okay, whatever. But like you're not getting like absolutely baked every day from like an expensive ass little thing. You're either sucking on nicotine or you're sucking on a smaller amount of nicotine and hot air.
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting popcorn lung because of that.
Yep.
Do you know how embarrassing that is?
So embarrassing.
Like you can't fix that. It is so embarrassing. It's so deeply embarrassing. And like you can be embarrassed and ashamed to be like, wow, I can't believe I got like hardcore addicted to nicotine on accident, unknowingly. For sure. File a class action lawsuit.
When it first came out, all those high school students.
Yes.
I feel sorry for them.
Totally. And I'm like,
but
without
at
a
this
doubt.
point, no.
Now that you've seen the scans of the popcorn lung, when I hear people cough and I can immediately go, that's the black lung. Like you've got the black lung. I'm waiting for, it's like the American Girl doll sketch. I'm waiting for you to cough into a napkin and it's blood. And it's like, oh no, cholera. Like it is giving the Oregon Trail. Like I can hear who's dropping dead first. Let's not.
All right. We're going to take another break. And when we get back, we'll get into butter there.
Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money. So he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
How does love work exactly? What makes something funny? How does noise affect your health? These are just a sample of the fascinating topics we discuss on my podcast, Something You Should Know. We bring you leading experts on topics important to you, things you can use in your life and that will fascinate you. We deliver 3 episodes a week and have over 1,000 episodes available to listen. So get listening to Something You Should Know wherever you get your podcasts.
It's ticklish business any way you look at it. Come on, we'll stick together.
Love movies? Love classic movies? So do we. Ticklish Business is the podcast where classic film is discussed in modern times. Hosted by me, film journalist Kristen Lopez, and my co-host, author Emily Edwards, we dive into the golden age of cinema with fun, heart, and serious expertise. As published film historians and lifelong classic movie buffs, we bring insider insights, deep research, and lively debates with a variety of special guests, ranging from celebrities like Holly Madison to TCM luminaries Dave Karger and Eddie Muller, and even family members of old Hollywood legends. Subscribe now to Ticklish Business on your favorite podcast app, and let's talk about old Hollywood today.
We're back from our break, and now it's time for But Are They Wrong?
And But Are They Wrong is where we nominate a person, place, or thing, someone in the current events, pop culture, zeitgeist, that we think deserves the title of Wrong of the Week. Sometimes these wrongs can be really wrong. Sometimes the wrongs are just, hey, you're wrong this week. You might not be wrong every week. And I'm giving that disclaimer because mine is genuinely not that serious.
Okay.
And this person, I don't follow, but like they're a very like beloved person online. And I've been seeing people be like, oh my God, I can't believe she said this. Like, this is like so like weird, like weirdly disappointing. But I wouldn't call it like the most like, unless this trend keeps up and then this is really who this person is the whole time. But like, it is just like, it feels like a very weird thing. And that is Ann Russell. And Ann Russell is someone on TikTok who like, I don't know because she's unfamiliar to me.
Never
I guess there are people who she is like who they view as like does like how to adult kind of content, like knowing like cleaning stuff. But like, people will be like, Ann Russell, like, how do I get this like wine stain out of this? Or like, I broke something like this. Like, how do I clean this kind of thing up? And that's like not who I have like creators who like do that kind of content. She's not that for me. So I have to assume that's why I've never seen her content is because like I already have that niche filled by other people. But I think she literally has a book coming out about like how to adult, which shout out to my old publisher who literally tried to like teach, like, tried to get me to like name my book, something like that. But she has positioned herself as this like mother / responsible older woman figure. And like I saw a bunch of like TikToks that she did with like other creators who like don't have relationships with parents being like finally meeting like my TikTok mom. So like she's positioned herself in this self-proclaimed role. People view her like this. And so that whole thing for me is like why it's an issue is because she has positioned herself as a role of authority, either when it comes to like, here's how you clean this. Here's how you do this. Here's how you do this. Here's how you adult. Like I know how to do this. This is my whatever. And so people trust her, which is why this is a problem. Mm-hmm. And this all stemmed from, the time of year that it is. And it should also be important to know that Anne is British. The time of year, summertime. She looks British. I've seen her more in the last fucking week of people stitching this than I have ever. And someone, it is summertime, and it means that it's time for Europeans and people in the UK to hop on TikTok and to talk about and explain to us how a heat wave of 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit with 50 to 70% humidity is actually hotter than 115 degrees or 100% humidity in the United States. It's a canon event. It has happened like every fucking summer since TikTok has started.
Yeah. Wintertime is the food discussions. Summertime is the temperature discussions.
And I would like to say, when I found out that you put tuna on a baked potato, I no longer can take a jacket potato. I think you have to remove any sort of sense of like authority on us versus them, discourse and dialogue.
Did you see the one company that has one called The American? And they do the potato and then put like some barbecued meat, but it's like orangey color. They don't know how to make the sauce. It's not that it's dry. It's that the barbecue sauce they use looks like the juice from their beans and toast. Oh. And then they put coleslaw on it, but it's purple. Like the coleslaw itself is like the creaminess from how much there's so much mayonnaise in it. And the mayonnaise the cabbage has bled into the mayonnaise and it's purple.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. It's nasty. I'm like, you didn't even do any research. If you're going to do it, put some butter, some sour cream, some chives, some bacon bits. That's very easy to make. It's easier to make than that coleslaw and that
quintessential American jacket potato.
Yes.
Baked potato. Like we do that. You'll see that in commercials in the fucking 80s. Like it's
a dollop of Daisy
on TV and like watching people eat food. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. Yuck, 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 yuck. So all of this started because Anne did a reply to a TikToker who made a video basically talking about how more Europeans passive heat stroke, despite America being as a whole hotter and more humid, and about how these deaths are in fact like preventable and they could be prevented quite easily because there are solutions out there. And these solutions have been out there. And at this point, it's feeling like Europeans are just stubborn about this. Anne immediately calls this person a child. It's a fully grown person. Fully grown.
And keep in mind, Anne is like in her 60s, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Anne also might not believe in sunscreen based on some of the things we're going to get into that she doesn't believe in. This is also coming from a place of like being like, people are actually actively dying from heat stroke at like astronomical rates in this shouldn't be happening. There are ways that we can do to prevent this. Obviously, you cannot prevent every heat-related death, but like you can prevent some, and they should be prevented. So Anne again calls him a child and says climate change is making their climate more unstable, as if this is brand new information, which is crazy because. And by the way, America, we also do feel the effects of climate change. And says that it's hard for bodies to adapt quickly to this, and because 15 years ago it never used to get over 100 degrees. That is the issue with climate change. It takes decades, eons, centuries, generations for bodies to adapt to new living conditions. And says that unlike Americans, Europeans are living in old buildings. America doesn't have old buildings. Europe has old buildings. They have buildings from the 1800s, and those windows are too small for AC units. I would love to point Anne in the direction of Boston, of any other. We have old buildings.
Also, there are air conditioner units that you can put inside. You just need to put the exhaust pipe through the window, which you can put through a small ass window.
Yeah. You can also just have a fan. You can have it. You can do anything. And says that the only place. Says that because the windows are so small and you have like regulate all of these things, like you couldn't possibly put that there. And I would love to tell her that the only place in the United States that is retrofitted for AC are new builds. And when I say new builds, I mean certain states that things that are built today that you have to opt in for it. It is not like a default. And houses built in the 70s in Northern California, nope, not built for that. Houses built in LA nope, not built for that.
Yeah, the first few places I lived in LA didn't have air conditioning.
No, people were shocked when we didn't have like AC and heating here. And like people who didn't live here, they were like, wait, that's crazy. And I was like, LA up until like LA used to be 70 degrees year round. It never used to get that cold. It never used to get that hot. And even as a kid growing up in Northern California, we did not have AC. We did not have heat. And that was normal. Houses built in the 70s. Like it was fucking normal. And I remember like when it would be, I have like memories of like heat waves there because it wasn't all the time. And in those heat waves, literally nobody had AC. I knew one person who lived in a gated community and they had AC. And I wasn't even friends with them. I was only friends with them for a couple of years and I knew they had AC. But like, other than that, like the climate does not call for that. And so the amount of days in the year for that, like, okay, we'll go to the library, go to the movies, go do any of that. But those days are now more and more often that you have to adapt. Yeah, we used to be able to not have to do that because it was one day a year and you can get out of the house for it. You're prepared for it. It's not so sudden. It's not overnight. Like you can survive it. When people are not able to survive it anymore, now we actually have to make a change.
Yeah. Like my house was born. Well,
happy birthday, house.
Built in the 1930s. It was later added. Air conditioning was added in your house. You just got air conditioning in it, what, last year? Yeah. 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Yeah.
And people who are like shocked, like, well, every building in the U.S. has air conditioning. No, it doesn't.
I will say, like, in the South, it's very rare to come across a building that does not have air conditioning, but that's because it's fucking hot down there.
Yeah, and it's been hot for longer than it's been hot. So it makes sense. Then she gets into where I go, okay, now, Anne, this might not be an ill-informed thing of just not understanding America, because having like the feeling like you have the authority, I cannot stand fucking Europeans and British people who feel like they have the authority. Canadians do this too. Have the authority to speak on America while being like completely wrong, having no idea. She like talked about how like we don't even have solar panels. And I was like, genuinely, I can't go a day without some fucking man with a snapback from San Diego knocking on my door asking to put solar panels in my house that doesn't get sun.
2 little girls were over at my house the other day. And I say little because they high school students. I think this was their summer job.
The way that your camera's positioned makes them look even smaller.
Yes. But they came to the door and they rang the doorbell. And then they saw that I have no solicitations on my door and giggled and said, oh my gosh, I said no solicitations, and then ran. But they were selling solar panels. There's somebody at my house at least once a week trying to sell some solar panels.
Yes. Like it is it is insane how much, like, you see them, and I can see them through the ring, and I go, I know what they're selling. I can tell by their look. Solar panels.
Mm-hmm.
So she has all of this authority she feels to speak on this while being, like, blatantly wrong, which I find irritating enough. And then she says a statement where I go, oh, this might be more than just a overconfidence on the internet issue. And she says, American fridges use more electricity than a small African village.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
So we're not only speaking on knowing America as a whole, but the entire continent of Africa as a village.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I do think this is proving the fact that she is in fact stuck in the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. And everybody's offering all of these things, solutions. There are people from the UK being like, here's my unit. She finally reveals that she does in fact have a portable unit, but that it's ridiculous for Americans and, like, Americans to speak from a place of authority to tell British people that this is what they need, and that it's as if that this is so easy, that it's going to be expensive. And everyone's like, it's expensive here too, but we have to do it. You have to do it. You have to make the choice to do it. Otherwise you'll fucking die. And so basically she wants British people and Europeans to be able to get online, complain about the lack of heat and AC, watch people die from heat stroke, and then do nothing about it, all the while somehow bringing in ignorant Americans into the loop, which I have to say is quite ironic, considering every time there is a school shooting in America, Europeans, specifically British people, will hop on in the fucking chat and explain how simple and easy of a problem it is to fix. And then when we explain that's unfortunately not how our government works, they claim, well, it's just because you don't want it enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I thought we were supposed to be keeping that energy here. And, okay. So then we go into her next take. Melissa, this one's fucking insane. She stitches another TikTok of another American noticing a pattern. And this American is being like, it's wild how, like, no one in Europe really, like, drinks water. Like, there's not, like, people have had this discourse. You go to restaurants, you have to ask for water. Small cups aren't really being refilled often. Like, in the US, you've got, water stations. Like, there's just, like, more water. And it was like, damn, like, what's going on here? What is this? Anne makes a statement, and I quote, nobody needs to drink water at all. She then says Americans drink too much water. And unless you live in a tropical climate and it gets super hot and you're sweating, you get enough water from food. Who's going to tell Anne about our subtropic climates in a lot of our country? Okay.
But even then, you need water.
But Anne, I thought it was unbearably hot in the UK and nobody would understand. Sounds like you need some fucking water.
Mm-hmm.
And Anne, your country is obsessed with tea. What the fuck do you think tea is made out of? What do you think tea is made out of? And she says that the reasons why Americans drink water so much is because of there's AC everywhere. We're all just completely wrinkled little prunes, dried up, because everywhere we go is AC. Marketing, and then there's just too much salt in our food. So take in mind, the original video she's stitching, they're like making fun of people lugging around their reusable water bottles. She's trying to save face now, being like, I don't want more plastic in here. I go, and nobody has talked about plastic water bottles. You're making fun of people who are carrying reusable water bottles around.
Mm-hmm.
And then people in the comments are saying, this is literally fundamentally the craziest statement I've ever heard, that the water in America doesn't hydrate you.
What?
That there's something in our water that it doesn't hydrate us, because they think that there are, like, might I introduce you to a politician I think you'll love, RFK? Like, what do you think what do you think is in our water that makes it, huh? And literally even defended, being like, someone's like, well, you drink like a copious amount of tea and that's water with like sugar and milk. And she's like, well, you need those things.
And caffeine.
And
which dehydrates you.
Apparently the, what are they called? It's like, it's a form of like tannins, like something of tannins, whatever. And the increase in that increases your risk for like all of these other kinds of things, specifically like kidney stones. And the rate of kidney stones in the UK compared to the US, astronomical. And just in general, like the higher increase you have of those things, the more susceptible you are to like these other like health concerns, like later on in life. And that is what like tea has that. Like it is not like a 1-for-1 replacement for water, caffeinated or not. And then she says, if your urine is dark, drink more. If your urine is clear, you're drinking too much, stop it. She's scolding us now. The idea that you constantly need water is marketing hype, and it's nonsense, and it is based on bad science.
Marketed by who? Like water.
Dasani.
The majority of people, though, drink water out the tap.
And also, people who are drinking copious amounts of water are drinking from reusable water bottles. They're not drinking from plastic water bottles. Nobody who is regularly drinking from disposable plastic water bottles is getting enough water in the day because you don't have easy access to it all the time.
Meghan, this is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard.
You have to get to my closing statement. And you sound cranky. You might be dehydrated. Or might I suggest an AC unit?
Drink some water. Cool down. Mind your own business.
It's just like...
I do want to know her thoughts on sunscreen.
Me too. So badly. So fucking badly. Because I'm like, why? Like, what do you gain out here from being anti-Americans drinking water? Like, and she's trying to say like plastic water bottles. I'm like, that's like not the issue though. And I get like, I can't stress enough that like people who are drinking the amount of water that you're taking umbrage with are drinking it from reusable water bottles because you're making fun of them for carrying reusable water bottles in Europe. And I saw someone, like a doctor in the comments being like, everybody be very wary of somebody who's trying to tell you to drink less water. Like, what is she gaining from? Like, this is a very weird thing. But positioning yourself like, this is too much. Don't do this. Don't do this. I'm like, what's your credentials for this?
This is hot.
And she even said that, like, when you breathe, like your breath is warm and moist, so it like hydrates your mouth. And I was like, do you brush your teeth? And like, I'm also thinking,
can't anymore, Meghan. Why does this woman have 2.5 million followers?
I know. I was like, and like, I know nothing about her. And like, this being the two things I hear, and everyone's like, damn, I'm really disappointed. I'm like, okay, what fucking content was she making before this? Like, cleaning stuff, I guess. But like, I don't know. Like, if you want to, like, if she wants to argue that like, oh, it's not a kidney issue, it's not any of these other issues, like your health is fine or whatever, not drinking like water or like clear beverages, like after you have eaten, like, it's explaining some of your teeth as well. Like, not to be like crass and rude or whatever, but like there's this is important to do. And like, what's your breath smell like? And I also think it's just like their whole like just ragging on Americans for being like unhealthy constantly. And like so many people in the comments, and she was like co-signing people being like, hey, like I drink liquid just because it's a pint, it's fine. And I'm like, it's also drink a lot. Like, that's also not like, in like complaining that Americans are unhealthy. Like when your like national dish is like fried fish and French fries, like, which I love, but like sometimes the only vegetable you can find is the beans on a beans and toast. Like,
that's not a vegetable though.
It's a legume. But I think, but you know, like I like in the like I get like a tomato as a fruit and like mushroom. Like there's just like you don't have in a lot of places like you're not blessed with having a climate of having like an abundance of like varying produce, and like you view every part of the United States as like a food desert without even knowing what a food desert is. And like, it's just like, huh? What?
I can't.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. It's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
I know.
Well, actually, two of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
The combination back to back is just like genuinely so funny though. Like, they're being like, it's too hot and we can't do anything about it. And then someone's like, hey, water. And she goes, by the way, you bitches drink too much water. I'm like, weren't you just complaining about how it's like really hot and you like can't do anything about it? Why are you voluntarily dehydrating yourself? And also she's like, if your urine is dark, go to the hospital. Not like, oh, it's a sign you should drink more water. If you're pissing an amber colored liquid, I think we have bigger fish to fry. And you know about that.
Oh. Here's mine. Mine is the Florida High School Athletic Association. And so I'm going to talk about a story that perfectly illustrates how an outdated system can punish a good heart. So Teddy Bridgewater, a man who gave back to his community and was suspended for it, but who has since found a positive new chapter. So last year, after an 11-year NFL career, Teddy Bridgewater took on the head coaching job at his alma mater, Miami Northwestern High School. He didn't do it for fame or money. He did it because he saw a need and he wanted to help. He led the team to a state championship, so he's like a true hero to these young men. But then his coaching tenure came to a stop. He was suspended by the Florida High School Athletic Association for providing what they call impermissible benefits. These weren't bribes or lavish gifts. These were basic necessities. Teddy was personally paying for players' Uber rides home from practice, buying them pre-game meals, and covering the cost of athletic recovery services. He explained his motivations perfectly when he said, "Miami Northwestern is a tough neighborhood. Things can happen when kids are walking home. I was just trying to protect them." He saw these players not just as athletes, but as his sons, and was filling in the gaps where the system had failed. This is a high school where 75% of the students are economically disadvantaged. He wasn't breaking the spirit of the rule. He was embodying the spirit of a community leader. The FHSAA's rules are rules stance completely missed the point. It punished a compassionate and generous man. It sends a message that a coach cannot help a kid get a safe ride home or a proper meal before a game. It's a bureaucracy that operates in a vacuum, detached from the real world challenges these young athletes face. And as many have pointed out, it's a stark contrast to how private schools often operate, where the rules seem to bend and flex. But there is some good news, a silver lining to this unfortunate story. This week, Teddy was signed a 1-year contract with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after he's retired. Mm-hmm. He's back in the NFL, returning to professional ranks after a brief, successful, but ultimately frustrating coaching career. While it's disappointing that he won't be on the field coaching the Bulls this season, his new role provides a powerful new form of inspiration. And he said himself, he hopes his players will see him on the sidelines on Sundays and be motivated by his journey. They'll see that their coach, the man who cared for them, is now back in the league, showing them that there are different avenues you can take in life. His story is a reminder that while the system may not always get it right, a person's character and generosity can't be suspended. He left a lasting impact on these young men, and now he has a chance to inspire them from a different stage. And I also want to point out that he was not getting paid for this coaching job. He was volunteering his time and then providing safety for these kids.
I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
And I just looked it up. He's only 32. Like the level of like, I don't know if like other, like I'm sure other people have and like they'll understand, but like when you are a teenager, the role that you place an adult who's not that much older than you in versus like someone who has kids, someone who's in their someone who's like, it feels different. Like it's like, that's why like babysitters who are like, can make like such a huge impact on you when they're like teenagers, when you're like, and you just like want to be cool like them and all of that. Like you trust them in a way that like he was able to provide this for them because of who he is, but also like he had a captive audience because he's young. Like he has that like of a trust, and it doesn't feel like an adult figure who's like overpowering or overbearing on you. Like it feels like your favorite cousin or your older brother. Like it has something there that like makes far more of like a lasting impact psychologically, that like to bend the rules for anyone. Like this is like, are you kidding me? Like why are there, this is not a bribe. And it's a volunteer position. You're going to fire something. Like how did they even find out?
I'm sure like after practice, he was like lining up, kids were lining up for Ubers, but it wasn't like a thing that he was trying to hide.
Yeah, but like, that's what I'm saying. Like who reported this as a thing of like.
It could have just been some administrator that came to a practice.
But then I'm like, what do you gain from being like, let me get rid of this volunteer coach?
It's power.
Like it's just so fucked up.
It's just power.
And
trying to control people.
If I was a parent at that school, I'm finding out who the fuck I'm making sure everybody knows that you are the one who wanted to remove this fantastic role model and like figurehead in these kids' lives. That was all he was doing, was caring about their safety along with
their
like,
health.
Yeah. And like, by the way, your football team will play better when your students, any athlete, your students will perform better when they have a meal and they get home safely.
Mm-hmm. It's wild.
It's like there's no benefit to being like these are our hard and fast rules. Wow. It sounds like high school needs to get into like the same thing that they did with the NCAA, where they finally started paying college athletes. Like things need to change and things need to shift. Like Ubers were not a thing when you're making these like bylaws of what are considered bribes or not. And like, if it is like the safety of physically getting from point A to point B, this person's not carpooling and picking up a student. I can understand if you're like, we have a rule that like, faculty members cannot be alone in a car with a student, for sure. So an Uber is a perfect solution to that.
What I think that they were probably mad at is that he wasn't going through the booster club, which the booster club benefits the school as a whole. And then they pay out of the boost. Cause like people would pay into the booster club I was in. It was actually like the job of us as cheerleaders and like football players to get businesses around to buy ads in a book that would go to the booster club that was like building a new stadium for the football team. And my mom said, I'm not having you going around begging businesses for money.
Grown adults for money.
Yeah.
Wait,
I will.
Is that like the PTA? Like a booster?
It's separate from the PTA. It's specifically for the athletic department.
Oh.
And so like, and then like at the football games, they would sell these books that would have like listed the players' numbers and position and then have all these ads in it. So then it was like advertising for your company. My mom was like, she literally bought a full page ad with my face on it.
Iconic.
And then had like various family members do the same. And then like to friends would have them, if they had a business, have them buy. But like, she was like, I'm not doing this.
Okay. Well, we hope you all enjoyed this episode. As always, don't forget to vote for who you think was wrong that we post over on our Instagram stories. We also add them to the highlights. So if you miss the window of voting, we don't record immediately after the votes are up most of the time. So you have like another day to write in, even if you miss the exact window of the voting being open. If you want to write in, do the same thing, butamiwrongpod@gmail.com. And then if you have nominations that you think you want us to talk about for Wrong of the Week, tag us, mention us on things, or send it to us. And if you have like hot takes that you want to hear our hot takes on, or someone you see a rant of something being like, oh, I feel like they'd align with this or they wouldn't, send it to us. Might cover it, might do it. And that's it.
All right. Join us tomorrow for See You Next Tuesday. Thursday, we've got Don't Blame Me. Friday is Fisting Friday. And then we will be back here on Monday. We will circle back.
Goodbye.
Bye.
This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
Production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.
Look, we all know there are a lot of celebrity interview podcasts out there, but there's only one, Happy, Sad, Confused. I'm Josh Horowitz, and yeah, I'm the host of the show, so I'm a little biased, but truly Happy, Sad, Confused is the place for nerdy and intimate conversations with all your favorite actors and filmmakers. From Andrew Garfield and Scarlett Johansson to Christopher Nolan and Quentin Tarantino. For over 10 years and over 700 episodes, Happy, Sad, Confused has broken movie and TV news every single week. That's because I ask all the questions I want to know, and more importantly, you want to know. Casting what-ifs, backstage stories, acting pet peeves, and much more. So whether you're into superheroes, prestige TV, or just the coolest actors and directors alive, you're going to learn something in every episode. Listen to Happy, Sad, Confused on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Brandy Basanti. For the last 15 years, I've starred on one of the most successful reality shows of all time, Storage Wars. On my new show, The Real Reality, my guest and I will reveal the real story of what it's like navigating fame and notoriety. Because it's my show, I can do whatever I want. I can say whatever I want. No filters, no rules, no network executives. And I believe that's what the world wants. Raw, real, authentic, and I'm gonna fucking give it to you. Though success is great, being in the public eye can come at a cost. Oftentimes, what you see on camera is not the real reality. On each episode of my show, we'll sit down with a different notable individual from the world of TV, film, sports, or internet fame. We will explore their unique story, what really happened on and off camera, how becoming famous has truly impacted their lives, and what their vision is for their future. In a world obsessed with celebrity, followers, and subscribers, the true story is often lost or even buried. This show will reveal what really happened. This show will reveal what people really felt. This show will reveal what fame is really like. This is The Real Reality. Subscribe now, wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, do you like true crime? Me too. And I know what you're thinking. There's so many true crime pods out there, you've already heard all the stories. Well, what if I were to tell you you're wrong? I'm Leroy Luna, the host of Excuse Me, That's Illegal, the podcast that takes a hardcore look at softcore crime. I've got a back catalog of hundreds of bizarre and hilarious stories just waiting to be heard by you. So come join me. Excuse Me, That's Illegal is available anywhere you get your favorite podcasts, with new episodes dropping on the 10th, 20th, and 30th every month, baby!